You have a second shadow. You can't see it, but the US government can. It walks where you walk, buys what you buy, and talks to who you talk to. It's called a digital twin to target enemies of the state. The problem? Their new operating system, you fit the profile. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the patent that proves your privacy didn't die by accident. It was sold to the highest bidder. September 15th, 2025, Eastern Time. A server farm in Northern Virginia quietly processed 4.2 petabytes of data in a single resolution cycle. It didn't just scan license plates or credit card transactions, it integrated them. In less than 0.8 seconds, an AI model known as AIP connected your EasyPass toll history, your pharmacy prescriptions, your Venmo transactions, and your voting record into a single cohesive narrative. This wasn't a hack. This was a feature. It was part of a newly activated contract for the Tactical Intelligence Targeting Access Node, or Titan, and it lives on a server owned by a company that just signed a $178 million contract. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the terrifying reality of the Palantir operating system. You need to understand that privacy isn't dying. It has been industrialized, packaged, and sold back to the government with your tax dollars. Here is the fundamental misunderstanding most Americans have about surveillance. You think of it as a camera on a pole or a guy in a van listening to your calls. That is 20th century thinking. That is analog. What is happening now is ontological surveillance. This is the specialty of Palantir Technologies. They don't just collect data points. They build a digital twin of your entire life. They take the silos and the DMV database, the IRS records, the local police blotter, the GPS data from your phone apps, and they pour them into a system called Foundry. Foul twin fits the pattern of a criminal. You get flagged. You get pulled over more. You get audited more. Your loan application gets denied. Why? Because the risk score assigned to your digital identity has dropped. You are being punished for crimes you haven't committed yet, based on a mathematical model that is proprietary. You can't face your accuser in court because your accuser is a line of code protected by trade secret laws. This is the black box of modern justice. Now let's follow the money, because the government pays them to do it is the literal truth. Palantir's revenue comes largely from government contracts. They are embedded in the Department of Defense, the CIA, the FBI, and the NHS in the UK. This creates a vendor lock-in that is impossible to break. Once an agency moves its data onto the Palantir Ontology, they can't leave. The data is structured in a way that only Palantir's software can read efficiently. This is the Hotel California of government contracting. They check in, but they can never leave. And who pays the subscription fee? You do. The US taxpayer is funding the development of the very cage that imprisons them. Every time you see a headline about a new $500 million defense bill, understand that a chunk of that is going to Alex Karp and Peter Thiel to refine the AI that watches you. Let's talk about Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir. He is not your typical tech CEO. He doesn't pretend to be a hippie who wants to connect the world. He is a philosopher of warfare. He has openly stated, the West must have dominance. He believes that software is the modern nuclear weapon. He's not apologizing for building weapons, he is bragging about it. He has said that if you are a terrorist or an enemy of the state, you should be afraid. The problem is the definition of enemy of the state. In 2026, that definition is becoming fluid. Is it a journalist exposing corruption? Is it a protester questioning a mandate? Is it someone buying gold and Bitcoin to exit the dollar system? When you give the state an all-seeing eye, the definition of target expands to justify the budget of the surveillance apparatus. This brings us to the impossible choice facing the American citizen. Option A is compliance. You accept that privacy is a relic of the past. You live your life knowing that every keystroke, every mile driven, and every dollar spent is being logged, analyzed, and scored. You behave perfectly. You don't rock the boat. You hope the algorithm stays green. Option B is disconnection. But in a digital society, disconnection is poverty. You can't have a job without email. You can't have a house without a digital deed. You can't travel without a biometric passport. The system has made participation mandatory. But there is a hidden option C, obfuscation. This is the only strategy that works against an AI. You cannot hide from the data collection, but you can poison the data. You can separate your identities. You can use tools that break the linkability of your actions. The digital twin relies on connecting your credit card to your phone location to your IP address. If you break those chains, using privacy-preserving hardware, paying in cash, using encrypted communications that do not harvest metadata. You create blind spots in the ontology. You become a ghost in the machine. Not invisible, but unclassifiable. And to an algorithm, unclassifiable is the same as irrelevant. We are watching the merger of the corporation and the state. This is the definition of the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about, but updated for the Silicon Valley era. It is not just Lockheed Martin building jets anymore. It is Palantir building the brain of the state. The terrifying part is the NHS deal in the UK. Palantir secured the contract to manage the health data of the entire British population. They know every disease, every surgery, every mental health crisis of millions of people. Critics call it a spy agency running a hospital. Do you think that data stays in London? Or does it feed the global model of human behaviour that improves the prediction engine for everyone else? Data is the new oil, and they are drilling into your medical records to fuel the machine. In the next minute, I need you to take this seriously. The Titan system is live. The AIP boot camps are training government officials right now on how to use AI to target populations. The infrastructure is not coming soon, it is here. The reason you don't feel it yet is because it is designed to be seamless. It is the soft cage. You don't see the bars, you just notice that your options are narrowing. You notice that your bank asks more questions. You notice that your insurance premium went up because of lifestyle factors. That is the feedback loop of the panopticon. I have spent the last 6 months analysing the patent filings of Palantir and the procurement documents of the Department of Defense. I have mapped out exactly how the digital twin is constructed, and more importantly, the specific data points that feed it. I have created a digital camouflage guide. It explains how to break the link between your physical identity and your digital exhaust. It covers the tools for compartmentalization, how to keep your financial life separate from your location data. This isn't about hiding illegal activity. This is about preserving the basic human right to not be indexed. If you don't take active measures to confuse the algorithm, you are defaulting to total transparency. And in a world where information is weaponized, transparency is vulnerability. Click the link in my bio or visit the URL on the screen to get the guide. Learn how to throw sand in the gears of the machine before the file on you is locked. Nedrai doesn't just list the data, it maps the relationships. It knows that because you parked at a specific bar on Friday, and your co-worker's phone was at the same bar, and you both Venmo'd the same person on Saturday, there is a 94% probability you're engaging in a specific type of off-the-books transaction. It connects the dots that a human analyst would never see. And here is the kicker. The government didn't build this. They couldn't. They are too incompetent. So they hired Palantir to build it for them. Let's look at the Titan contract because this is the smoking gun. The US Army recently awarded Palantir a $178 million contract to build a next-generation ground station. The pitch is sensor-to-shooter capability. They want to identify an enemy on a battlefield and direct a missile to them in seconds. That sounds great for national defense. But here is what they don't tell you. The technology used to track insurgents in the desert is the exact same software stack used to track domestic threats at home. The tools are agnostic. They don't care if the target is a terrorist in a cave or a dad at a school board meeting. The algorithm just looks for anomalies. We have to talk about predictive policing, because this is where the sci-fi nightmare becomes a documented reality. Palantir has been running Project Gotham with law enforcement agencies like the LAPD and ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, for years. The system uses historical crime data to predict where crimes will happen and who will commit them. This is the pre-crime division. If your digitor